Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have some pretty big news coming out over here for some brand new leaks. And the even more intriguing side is this actually might be coming from some Russian people over here leaking brand new PlayStation components. Now, as you guys probably know, we've been seeing like a lot of murmurs and rumors when it comes to all these bigger platforms having outside hardware. Xbox has been rumored to have a handheld device, and if you guys want a little bit of a refresher, just make sure you guys are subscribed. I'll make a video on that at some point. But as well, we've seen the PlayStation Portal has been doing phenomenal. A lot of people also like their Steam Decks, Lenovo Go, the Switch 2 has been in the horizon, and basically, a lot of people mainly focus on consoles and PC, but handheld gaming, mobile gaming, as a whole has been getting kind of big. But right now, there's going to be a brand new, potentially, PSP, PS Vita alternative, where it's going to be in the same exact capabilities of the PlayStation 4, now being leaked. Now, once again, we have to kind of wait and see more information on this and kind of see where the leaks kind of lead us. But first and foremost, I would want this. I'd probably buy this, and I want to hear your thoughts and comments on everything throughout this video. So you have the Twitter and Twitch room down below if you guys want to follow. And of course, let's go dive on into the video itself. So first and foremost, this is cool. I love having handheld devices. I loved my PSP. I will always go and push for more handheld devices when I do have the chance. But right now, a rumored PlayStation Portal device is coming, and it runs PS4 games. So not the PlayStation Portal, which already exists, although that's more so based on like remote play and all of that, like which is fine, like its own thing, it's fine. But we want something that has its own internal hardware that's capable of running on its own, with or without a console, ideally without, because right now the PlayStation Portal does require a PlayStation 5 through remote play to play the game. And I could still go and have a console in New York and play it in London, but at the same time you still have to own it, which is fine. You're in the ecosystem, makes sense. But what I want to have is something more advanced. I want something that's its own hardware, its own standalone device, and I think it would sell like hotcakes. So a rumor about a possible new gaming handheld from Sony is making some waves on the Reset Era gaming forum. If you guys don't know, Reset Era is like a lot of like leaks and conversations about leaks, etc., etc. The source of the rumor is Russian journalist Anton Lugvich, whose post was found by Reset Era Hiroshima and later translated by user Diehard. So according to Logvig, Sony has plans to now release a new handheld device that seems tailor-made for PlayStation 4 titles. Now, once again, I'd probably assume PlayStation 5 games would come. It'd be very stupid for any game out here to, well, not do that. Like, I could sit here in my head and think, why you make all these crazy PS5 games? Let's just go and sell old games, again, for the 18th time. That is not what you want. That is not what we want to have as a gamers. So I'm assuming maybe just making sure it launches good. So my mindset, PS4 games. These are games that were able to be like optimized very well for the PS5 on lesser hardware. Think God of War, Ragnarok, think the Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales, etc. I think that would make a lot of sense. So you have this really good lineup, this launch lineup. People are excited for it. They think the product's dope. And over time, maybe you release it at lower frame rates or lower resolutions or whatever it might be. So saying, while the source of this leak might seem suspect, which is true, Logvig is known for previously leaking that Sony was going to be releasing first-party titles on PC. Although most people probably could have guessed that to put a little bit more of like thoughts in our heads. I probably could have told you that for any time throughout the past 10 years, and I'm not the most, at least back in the day, not as involved in the gaming sphere as I am now. Logvig says that I can confirm that Sony is preparing a new PSP for release, but damn. There are only PS4 games in the launch lineup, which is not fun, which are generally available on PC and therefore on also Steam Deck. And in theory, the Steam Deck might have a better value because it does have its own operating system. PlayStation Portal's like it's weird, like imagine like a Windows app that is like only, like imagine like an EA app, Xbox Game Pass apps. You know, you launch your console, you can only do what's mainly like they allow you to go do. While Steam Deck is more of like, say, like a Windows-based thing where you can basically do anything you want. Like you can emulate games, you can have Game Pass on Steam Deck, because it is technically like a mini computer. So it does kind of skew towards, if the games are available on PC, do we really need them for a like its own individual hardware? Although some people would probably say the same thing about consoles. Do we really need consoles when PC exists? So it might just be one of those more optimized, easier, maybe just a nice value, integrated with the PlayStation ecosystem. So like there is still merits in value there as well. But they're basically saying for this one, for some odd reason, it's only launching PS4 games. And I think that's the one caveat for this. Because if I could play any game I wanted, I don't think I'd have any issues. I don't think I'd have any problems. Like, I would probably like it. It only being PS4 games at launch does kind of make the launch a little bit weaker. So I don't know. Retail chains, by the way, are quite skeptical too as well. So either Sony is doing something completely, or they are still keeping secrets from their partners. So this is like maybe like the Samsungs, or maybe like the OLED like screen suppliers. Because sometimes even for the Switch too, we saw NVIDIA leaks, where NVIDIA was like turning out different types of production things being made in terms of like their their internals, like their semiconductors, etc. So we kind of knew that like GPUs were being made before then. Right now, we're not seeing as much leaks, at least at this current moment, but maybe now with the story coming out, we'll see more details. So I think it's also important to note that Ludwig appears to be only discussing the launch lineup. So it will be like a PS4 launch, so maybe no big like current era games, but at the same time, it could always be moved up over time. So it could be that Sony will not be restricting the device to only being able to run PlayStation 4 software. However, a lot of the users of the reset era form are taking it at face value. So some we're going to have to go worry about over here. So this is the actual leak we're seeing up on Telegram too, which doesn't really bode the most confidence, but I think we've seen a lot of other outside leaks adding towards this, so I think it kind of makes sense. And yeah, I think this is cool. I think this is sick. So basically, they're saying, by the way, I can confirm that Sony is preparing a new PSP for release. But damn, there are only PS4 games in the launch lineup, which are generally available on the PC and therefore Steam Deck. So I don't know. A lot of people are kind of curious. Some people are saying it might be a waste of time because you already have PC in the first place. If it only runs the PSN store, not sure if it could be considered a PC, which is kind of what I was saying as well, where the Steam Deck may be the better option between the two. Although Steam Decks are slightly more expensive, I do think the expense outweighs it. Or if you really wanted to maybe wait for a Steam Deck 2, we're most likely going to see updated Steam Decks. Like we've also seen them update their screens, internals, and specs, and like a version 2.0. So I do think the Steam Deck's been critically received enough that they will make more, and also is cool enough software. They'll probably make more too as well. So in theory, if most of these games are coming over to PC, and you can play it on Steam Deck or Lenovo Go or whatever, then I don't know. Like, it kind of seems strange. So yeah, some people are saying it's only PS4 games. They're skeptical. I think the idea is cool. And we are still seeing a lot of people over here with the PlayStation Portal. Like, this has been a hot cake commodity. And this doesn't even have its own internal hardware. It's just more purely on streaming. So what would stop the brand new hardware version as well to also be focused on streaming too? I keep on saying, you give me anything that's pure 100% cloud-based, like pure streaming, I would probably update my PlayStation Plus to a higher tier because I would be very comfortable to play that either on my Portal or my brand new PSP2, PS Vita, whatever. And if they had that with the hardware able to go and basically like encode the streaming without needing to have your own remote played console, that also opens up a huge influx of potential users on other outside platforms. So think about someone who doesn't even own a PlayStation 5. May want to pick up the hardware for this mobile device because you don't need a console, and that kind of lets you go be a mobile gamer. Think like Switch users. There's a lot more people who bought a Switch so far than the PlayStation, and those are a slightly different gaming subsection. But those same people are also people who will be buying games. Think mobile users. Think also kids as well. Someone who's like 8 years old playing Fortnite on their phone, they'd probably be more down and more receptive towards a mobile device. So it's kind of cool. So I think my ideal device would be a hardware filled, so it has internal specs. You do not need to own a console. You are able to then go and use PlayStation's new cloud streaming and PlayStation Plus to go and stream all your games, whether like basically still able to utilize remote play, how the PlayStation Portal does already. So the technology's right there. Just once again, just kind of X-nay out the PlayStation, just put it all on the handheld device. And I would also like to have individualized games. Now, this might be a hard ask, but I would really like to have my own individual, only purely mobile games. I want to say when I had my PSP back in the day in Vitas, they did have their own launch line of games. Not always, like sometimes it'd be ports or very, very similar games, but they did, I believe, have their own individualized games. You gave me a specific, exclusive reason to want to play on this, how they should have done with the PlayStation VR 2, I would be very, very down. I'd be very receptive. I would want to have this and enjoy this. But that is just my own take. And as well, I want a good battery life, comfy controller, all that type of stuff. But would you guys buy this? So far, I'm skeptical. Obviously, you have to wait for more leak information, price points, and all of that. If this was cheap enough, I would buy it. If they had individual games and everything I just mentioned right before this, I'd probably be looking to buy it. Or as well, if they expand out the PlayStation Plus and made the whole design system a lot better, I think that'd add a lot more extra merits towards everything, at least in my opinion. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments on everything down below. I love seeing brand new hardware, and I love seeing these leaks with the Twitter and Twitch as well, and subscribe with the notifications on if you enjoyed the video itself.